everybody. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, Instagram. Good morning, YouTube. It is 9:30 Cotton Cuts time. Good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for checking in. I see everyone checking in this morning. Melissa, I love and appreciate your energy this morning. Everyone go hit the like and the thumbs up on the video. Melissa, thank you for reminding us to do that every time. It is Thursday. It is real darn cold here, guys. I don't know what it's like, Shelly in Florida or Stephanie in Washington, but it was 17 degrees this morning when we woke up at our house. Needless to say, there were no morning runs by any of the people that live with me. Everyone stayed nice and safely tucked into their beds. 17 degrees was so darn cold. Okay. We have a great show today. We're going to start like we always do. Does anyone think we're going to hear airplanes today? I'm going to give you a hint. They have been flying a lot. For as cold as it is, we've heard a lot of airplanes this morning. So I'd be interested to see how many we actually think we're going to hear. But that's something Paula will manage for us. She'll throw some witty saying up on the screen and we will go from there. Tishua is going 4. I'm thinking Nikki, when she says -2 is not -2 airplanes, it's -2 degrees, which is real darn cold as well. Yeah, there's all sorts of numbers coming in. Paula will keep track of all of it. All right. So we're going to start, as we do every show, with questions that have been submitted by you guys. I don't see these ahead of time. They're here when I sit down. And so we will see what you guys are most curious to learn about. Wow, 7 airplanes. I'm impressed. Okay, well, Paula's going to keep track of all of that. Good work for us. Okay, so our first question, to submit a question, go to cottoncuts.com/live and we will read it here. So our first question today is from Betty Fisher from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I bet you it's real darn cold in Milwaukee today. Do you have any tips for creating a cohesive look when mixing and matching fabric from different collections? Okay. I would love to push this to you guys. So when you guys are mixing and matching fabrics from different collections, what tips and tricks do you guys have? I think so for me, there's a couple of different things that I always think of. It's what is the final project? And how important is it for it to blend versus contrast versus be cohesive in the final project? And that'll inform how comfortable I am mixing and matching fabric outside of collections. Now, I want to be super transparent with you guys. I didn't realize collections were a thing until I started this business. I would literally go into a fabric shop and pick fabrics that I thought looked great together. I had no knowledge that a designer released this collection and all these prints are meant to go together, or that, you know, this print was released 4 years ago and this print was recently released. I just picked things that looked pretty together, and perhaps that might help, Betty, is if you just break this concept that it's from a collection and it has to work together, you might be able to come to a solution that might make you happier. If you just kind of break it doesn't have to be from the same collection. I'm just going to put pretty fabrics together that work together. Now, one of my biggest and most helpful tips that I learned was when I'm picking out fabrics for a quilt. And I want to know, is it going to be light? Is it going to be dark? Is it going to have enough contrast? Is I lay them out and then I take a photo using sepia and grayscale settings on my cell phone. And so in that sense, what you'll see is you'll be able to see, are these going to blend? Are they all going to be the same kind of tone and saturation and there won't be any contrast in my quilt? Or is there going to be an acceptable number of differentiation between the prints? And I know we've all been there where we sew a quilt, we sew a project, and you put the two fabrics together and when you step back, they look the same. And it's for exactly this reason. If you took that photo in sepia or in grayscale, you would see that there's no difference in them, and when you push them away from you, they're gonna look really similar and or the same. And so I think, you know, first for me is how important is it to you that they be from the same collection, but also just breaking that mindset that it has to be from the same collection and rather just pick things that look great together. I think when I've done quilts in the past and it needs, you know, a specific color, like a purple, one of the tips that I learned is also to go to a home supply store, go to the paint section and pick a chip that I like. And then I will go to my fabric and see how close it matches that chip if I want it to be all kind of monochromatic. That's very helpful to me because I've grabbed fabrics that I was like, oh, I'm going to make this quilt and they're all the same color. And then when you put them next to it, like red can be orange red, and it can be red red, and it can be pink red. And so it's not until it gets together I realized that if I'd had a paint chip for the red I was going for, it would have been more cohesive. And those paint chips have saved me many, many, many times in a quilt where I've wanted a blue. And is this a close enough blue? Holding the paint chip next to it is very helpful. I'm reading the comments. Greta's saying she's picking fabrics, and at times she still does. I'm assuming that she's talking about taking photos and breaking the collection criteria. Tishua is phone is best friend, contrasting issues, black and white helps so much. Yes, I think this is one of those things. It's one of those, everyone has a cell phone now. You know, we don't have to develop film. And so you can take that photo and know immediately what you want to do and what you should be doing. Greta is saying yes, that's what she meant. Okay, let's see here. Thank you so much for the question, Betty. I look forward to seeing what other comments we get as people watch this video going forward. All right, our next question comes to us from Natalie Reed from Orlando, Florida. It's probably beautiful in Orlando this time of the year, I have no doubt. Natalie is suggesting, will you ever offer an exclusive design challenge for quilters using stitches? Oh, Natalie, that is a fantastic idea. So we've done, we like to do kind of pop-up challenges throughout the year. It's one of these opportunistic, we've done a lot of snippet challenges, which is our scrap bags, because we want to keep fabric and waste out of the landfill. And so we do challenges to see how inspired and creative people can be. We've never done one with stitches, but I think I would love to challenge Paula, who is sitting over there, to help us do that in 2025. I think it'd be fun. We're going to talk more about what a stitch-it is, kind of what's the intent behind a stitch-it coming up here, but I think having a challenge might be fun. Maybe we'll come up with exclusive kits to see kind of how everyone interprets the stitch-it differently. That would be a ton of fun. All right, Natalie, thanks for the suggestion. Paula just fell out of her chair as she has more work to do. It's awesome. It's good for her. All right. If you have a question for us, go to cottoncuts.com/live, and I will answer it next week on the show. I'm going to talk about that for half a second. So we got lots of holiday shows coming up here. We're going to be doing some replays. I think our day after Christmas will be live. We've got a big something coming on December 26th. You're going to want to definitely tune in for that show from your pajamas, from your Christmas hangover. But December 26th, we're going to have a live show. And I think the next 2 weeks, I want to say, are going to be replays. We're going on vacation. I have some trips coming up. So definitely watch us live when you can, because we got some big things coming into the end of the year. All right. Don't forget to give, I'm getting a psst. Did you guys hear the psst? Okay. What's the psst? Okay. She wants me to make sure that everyone hears it first. December 26th is a big announcement. Okay, so I don't know if it wasn't apparent the first time I said it, enough for Paula to go psst, that make sure you definitely join us for that December 26th show. You are definitely gonna, yeah, they're saying laugh out loud, Paula, like yes. Thank you, Donna. We're going to the Dominican Republic between Christmas and New Year's. We're meeting our family. It's going to be fun. And then I'm going to Austin that first week in January. So it's going to be a fun travel. Thank you. I appreciate it. If you guys have any quilt shops in Austin, I would love to hear about them. I'm going to be there. It's my annual business trip. I've talked about this before, where I go with a bunch on a retreat. And so if there's any quilt shops that you know of in Austin that you would recommend, I would love it in the comments. Oh, so Terry wants to know what's happening on December 26th. You're going to have to stay there. You're going to have to come back. I'm going to make you guys keep you with bated breath, keep you guessing as to what we're talking about there. All right. Don't forget to stay to the end. We're going to do our weekly $25 gift card to the shop. We've got a fun project. We got a fun question this week, so I'll be interested to see how you guys respond. All right. So what's happening in the shop? So last week, I made a promise that we were about 10 days away from being caught up. We're about 10 days away from everyone having all of their stuff. All of the shipping delays, all the stripe delays, all of the fabric where we were short, everything that caused us to like skew off schedule. I said last week we're about 10 days away from being up to speed, and I would say we are 3 days away from being up to speed a week later. It is super exciting to be here again. Like, as I said last week, we have a production schedule and everything is balanced out. And if everything arrives on time, everything moves very smoothly. But when we have things that are 2 weeks late and things that are a month late and things that are 6 weeks late, it's a constant churn. And so it feels so good, you guys, to actually have a normal week. Paula is running around. She is looking for something. Okay, so What does all of that mean? So our floral states. So this is the program where we had some fabric. We had as much cut here as we could, and it got stuck, and it got delayed, and it got shipped to the wrong address, and then it got shipped to a different address, and it finally arrived. So all those floral states guys are gone. I am so beyond happy with how much my team did. That is a large project because we have 300 people participating in floral states, and each month it's 5 states. And so, and it was 3 months. So there was a lot of little blocks and little parts and pieces that they put together, and they did a fantastic job. They crushed it. And so I'm hoping everyone has no plans between Christmas and New Year's, because you're going to be showing like 15 different floral states blocks. It is going to be fun. Let's see here. Tisha was talking about her Frosty Pine kit. So that's another thing. So all the Frosty Pine kits are out. Tisha said she already made it. Wow, I am impressed. So that was fun for our team because it was outside the box for us. We have not made a lot of those. Yeah, so Paula is like, what is the Frosty Pine pillow kit? Tisha, thank you so much. So she's going to show me. So this is the Frosty Pine pillow kit. And so these guys are all cut. They're mailed. I think we have maybe like 20 or 30 still left in the shop if you missed out on it. But Tisha was able to sew it together. It was a challenge for our team. We had some technical hurdles because we haven't cut 1.5-inch squares. I know as a quilter, the thought of cutting 1.5-inch squares is pretty daunting. We cut those on the die cutter. We figured out how to get it done quickly and fast. And this is what the cute little kit looks like. It comes to you. It's got all those pieces completely cut up, including in the pillow, these corners. Those are all cut for you. So you literally can sit and sew this pillow top. You can also make it a mini. The pillow form is, so the finished quilt is 20, the finished pillowcase is 20 by 20. And so they always recommend you get a pillow form that's, you know, 1 inch or 2 bigger to make the pillow fuller. So I would say that you're probably 22 by 22. Is what you'd want for the pillow form on this. You could also definitely make it into a mini as a tabletop or a wall hanging if you wanted to as well. It's a good size for that. All right. Let's see here. So Terry, how many have joined the PMQ Flyway? The geese have been doing their Flyway. I feel connected. Okay. So Terry, we're going to get to that. That is actually the next update on my list. Okay. So signups for Flyway. So our next puzzle mystery quilt, those opened last week. I think we had 4 colorways sell out in the first 24 hours. And I can't even tell you guys, I bought so much Tula Pink fabric. I bought so much of that Untamed. I didn't think it was going to sell out that fast, and it definitely did. I got confirmation this morning. We are going to be able to get some more, but I need like one last final check before I'm able to open it up again. So some of them, most of our colorways have been restocked. I can tell you guys, Crimsonette's gone for good. Like there's no more Crimsonette coming in. I am sorry if that's the colorway you really wanted, but Crimsonette, we cannot get any more of that fabric on. It looks not very great from an inventory perspective. We cleaned it out the first time. I can tell you there's over 1,000 people that have already signed up for Flyway, which is awesome and fantastic. And we have people that have signed up. A lot of people are signing up for prepaid, which is awesome and amazing. So here in the shop, we're actually going to be getting some new pieces of equipment that are going to help us be able to cut all those prepaids and get them out as close as possible to include 1 drops, so you guys can start sewing immediately from the beginning. And so that's exciting here for us. You know, we've been doing a lot of manual cranking for 8 years. It's going to be nice not to do that and to actually have a machine that's going to be able to die cut all these parts and shapes for us. And so we're looking forward to launching it and using that on Flyway. Let's see here. So Terry's saying she's surprised how fast they sold out. I think the fastest colorway has sold out in 18 minutes before. And so the fastest colorway sold out in 18 minutes before. And that is one, like everyone flew to that one. And I think for this mystery, I've seen a lot more evenly signing up. So I feel like there's a lot of people that like all the colorways versus like 1 or 2 being more popular than another. Okay, let's see here. So Paula is also making sure that I remind everybody that if you do choose to prepay for Flyway, you have to do it before Clue 1 drops, because we're not doing any more prepaids after Clue 1 ships. It'll only be month to month from there on out. So if that's your chosen preference and you really want to prepay, or you've got a friend that's on the fence and hasn't decided, definitely you have to sign up before Clue 1 ships on February, I think it's 6th or 7th, February 6th or 7th. All right, I'm reading all the comments. You guys are talking about the patterns. Let's see here. Freebird, your husband bought you Freebird. That's a fantastic gift, Tishua. That is amazing. Let's see here. Yeah, so we chose Ian's colorway. And so I think all that is done. That's all set up in the system. There's already been a winner picked from that. And I am not telling you guys the colorway that they picked. You guys are going to have to see it when they receive their fabric in February. All right. So let's see here. How long does it take for you to read messages sent on the web? So Robin, we do that pretty frequently. Our virtual assistants manage that for us. So if you've sent a message to us on our social media and haven't gotten a response, send an email to help@cottoncuts. It's a busy time of year, Robin, so it wouldn't surprise me if it takes, you know, a day or two for folks to get back to you. And I also want to make sure, guys, we're not Amazon. We don't work on the weekends or evenings. And so just make sure that you're conscious of all of that. We'll get an email at Friday at 5 o'clock. And then another one Saturday at 9 a.m. and then another one Saturday night. Guys, we're not going to be able to get to any of that until Monday. So just make sure that you guys are just extra patient. We've got a lot of stuff going on. Let's see here. All right. Donna is House of PMQs, and I love that. Okay. So what things have shipped? So Java and Chroma shipped this month. Our Cuddle books, which are adorable and cute, they're actually going to be shipping today. Our Modern Maker fabrics are going to be shipping on Monday. And so this is what Paula literally just gave to me. And so Modern Maker this month is very much in this light blue taupey. It's very tumbleweed. If you did a tumbleweed PMQ, it's got this like modern gray, but also brown and blue print associated with it. So we have a new web camera. So I can actually show you guys these fabrics and not have the camera dim on us. And so that's why I'm going through and showing you guys each one. This would have been a great quilt for, I think it's a perfect quilt for like a 30 to 40-year-old male. Like I think this would be great in an apartment for a dude. But it might also be great for a girl too. I think, yeah, I love these fabrics. So this is our Modern Maker for this month. Those will ship on Monday. It's not too late to grab yours if you do love those fabrics. And then Classic will be shipping next week. So all of our regular stuff is on time. It's always been on time. And for us, it's because those are the things we can control. We can make sure that we have the fabric and it ships on time. And so all of those things, if you're a member of any of those clubs, everything was shipping on time and you should have everything exactly like you always have been. All right. So Tim Holtz. Oh my gosh, this fabric is finally here. And I'm going to show you guys the red here in a minute. So Tim Holtz pink finally shipped. And so this is what I designed as my Tim Holtz for one of my blocks. In the Tim Holtz membership, you actually get enough fabric to make 3 of these. And so this is what the pink fabric looks like. All the pink memberships are out and our team is caught up with all the people that signed up. Unless you signed up today, guys, all of that pink fabric is out the door and on its way to you. The red fabric has arrived. And so I have some of the samples of what the red fabric looks like. And so the way that these fabrics work is that there's 10 fabrics that are chosen each month that are colorized in a color theme. And so pink was the first month, red is the second month. And there's 4 prints that are continuous every month. So there are some of these prints that you're going to see and they're going to be the same every month, just in a different color. And then the other 6 rotate. So if you see this, like there's a floral print in pink, it might not come back in red. Only 4 of the prints repeat. So this print is the tickets print. And so it is in red. It is vintage. Like these are the stubs you used to have when you would go to like fundraising events and they would call raffle numbers. This is what the collage print looks like this month. This is the backing for the pillows. It is also the sashing for the blocks as well. And then we have the micro stamps. Right, so these are vintage stamps that are done in red, and they still have kind of, you know, the like redeemed, the postmark stamp on them. This is a new print. This we did not see in pink, but this is a stylized alphabet print in red on cream. This is, you know, Paula is going to tell me what this one is after the show, but this one looks like it's an accounting statement, so it looks like a ledger. It's got numbers and dates and entries, and it's got values on it on a grid. And of course, when you die cut all this up, it's going to look cute and it's just going to blend right together. Okay, so this is actually, sorry, I apologize. This is not the collage print. This is the MAC print. This is what the collage print actually is. And so just like the pink, but a little different, it's got pictures. It's got a whole like collage. See, there's that font again. It's a whole bunch of the fabrics mixed together. That is what the sashing is for the blocks, as well as the backing for the pillows. So guys, those are literally on the table right now, getting cut, getting die cut. I anticipate those shipping to you guys tomorrow or Monday, and then we'll be all caught up on Tim Holtz. We're going to start seeing orange here very soon. We're going to have the next 3 colors on the website, and everyone stay tuned because Free Spirit is launching a special holiday collection in the vein of this painter's palette. And so there is a Halloween and a Christmas bonus option that we're going to start talking about in a couple months. So much stuff in the Tim Holtz category. I am here for it, and I love all of it. Okay. With respect to the Notions and Gifts boxes, so we are doing a whole bunch of unboxings on YouTube. So we're going to do that every day. Is it too late to order pink? So Megan, it is not too late to order pink at all. What happens is if you go to the website and sign up for Tim Holtz today, you're gonna pay. You obviously pay to sign up. We're gonna send you pink. We'll get you caught up, and you'll be back on track for a red. So we're treating it like a puzzle mystery quilt. And so pink is clue 1, red is clue 2. So if you sign up late, we're going to get you caught up with everybody else, and so you'll be on track for the rest of the program. Okay. Okay, so going back to the Notions and Gifts. So we're doing a daily unboxing. Those were lots of fun for me to film, to kind of open up and give an opportunity to explain what each item is and why it was chosen. If you did join that, make sure you don't watch those videos if you don't want the surprise ruined. But we always love feedback. So if you guys like see something and you're like, why is this here? We love this. We want more of this. Put your comments in those videos. Our team is reading them, and we are definitely taking notes for next year as well. All right, tomorrow we're going to do another YouTube live sale. This one is, again, this is Paula. This is the So Merry, M-E-R-R-Y, live sale tomorrow. And so we've been doing this a couple times on YouTube where it's just a live sale. You log onto YouTube, you watch me show fabric. It's almost like a home shopping, but like in a 45-minute fashion. I'll show a bundle. You type in a number in the comments, and you claim it, and it's yours. We'll send you an invoice, and we'll get that fabric out in the mail to you on Monday next week. And so this week we're doing bundles of 3 1-yard cuts of coordinating fabric. And so I should have about 20 bundles on the show with me tomorrow. And so I think they're $27 for a bundle of 3 1-yards. And if you get one of the bundles, you get a free pattern. And we always throw in like free swag. And so there'll be pens. I have no doubt there'll be a whole bunch of fun stuff. And we'll still do our golden ticket where one lucky person's going to get a $25 gift card. Let's see here. So I wish there were some extra background pieces in Tim Holtz so we could experiment with alternate layouts. That is a fantastic piece of suggestion. And so, Jana, we'll take a look at that and see what we could do. Nikki's saying lives are so fun but dangerous. And so it's fun for me too because as you guys, if you've seen them before, I usually have a costume and I have something alcoholic, and it's a fun way to spend a Friday afternoon. The only thing is you need to register beforehand. If you've registered once, you don't have to go back and do it again. But we ask that you register so that way if you have a username that's different than your natural name, that we can pair you up if you're bidding on an item. We make sure that we get you what you've claimed. And then we're doing one next week on Wednesday. And so it's going to be a special Java and Chroma thread show. And so you are definitely, if you are into batiks, you are going to want to join us on Wednesday for some of these Java bundles. What time is the sale? So tomorrow it's 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. So usually we open the live at 1. We give everyone like 5-ish minutes to get registered, and then we're off and running. Okay. Lastly, as if that's not enough stuff, guys, our Stitch-Its drop this Sunday. So we're going to talk a little bit here about what a Stitch-It is and why that's cool. We have 3 new collections. Stitch-Its drop on Sunday. In the fun category, this is because we just do crazy weird stuff when we have all these ideas. And so we've collated people, we've collected people for a holiday card exchange. And so what we did is we had a form, and you went in and you filled it out and said if you were interested in participating. We paired everybody up. Everyone has a partner, and the idea is just to send a quilty note in the mail to someone who you don't know, haven't met before, just to build some connection this holiday season. And so Everyone's been paired up, and I actually saw a card posted on Facebook this week. I love all of that. I actually am participating, and so I am participating, and so if you're paired with me, it's coming. I promise it's going to get out the door. Laura is saying she did not receive an invoice. So Laura, okay, so we're going to come back to the second bit. So Laura, I will have the team take a look and make sure that you got your invoice, and that you'll get. It does not mean they were sold out. Well, I think we had some technical difficulties with some ads. I will have the team go find it. And I'm very sorry to hear that you fractured your back on Tuesday. So I'm hoping that you're definitely okay on that front, and that you're getting lots of rest and that you're not doing too much. But we'll get you taken care of the invoice. Donna did not receive her swap card partner. I am having Paula take a note on that, and we will figure out what's going on there. All right. Oh, and then in the fun category, so our Cotton Cuts holiday potluck is on Monday. And one of the things that I challenged our team to do is something that I saw trending on social media this year, and that's actually baking cookies that are in a quilt block design. And so this was posted in a larger scale on the Washington Post. And so you can search and find pictures and find the article, but the idea is you bake cookies that are inspired by different quilt blocks. And so what I have challenged our team to do, and we were going to have, for bragging rights only, no money, but for bragging rights is we're going to have every employee come up with their own quilt block that's a cookie. And I'm really making this the loosest definition of what a cookie is. I've even said if you want to put a brownie and get different type of nut toppings and put it on top in a pattern, like, I don't care. Like, take it for what it's worth and make a quilt block inspired sweet treat. And so I know Paula heard that and she's like, well, why don't we put it out and see if anyone else wants to participate with us? So if you're so moved and you feel like baking a cookie this weekend, take a picture of it, post it on social media. We'll post all of our cookies on social media and we'll see kind of where that takes us. Hopefully it's just something quick and fun, guys. There's no don't bend over backwards. If you have fractured your back, Laura, please don't bake a cookie. You can post it later, but this was just something fun that we thought could be timely for the season. All right, and then because it's the biggest announcement, if you didn't hear me the first time, December 26th, you're going to want to join us for the live, December 26th. It's in big letters on my piece of paper here. Okay, so for today's topic, we wanted to talk about stitchets. And so what is a stitchet? Why is it something that Cotton Cuts does in lots of different iterations? What makes it cool? And kind of why is it something that we keep doing? And how do we, I almost forgot. I promised you guys that I would show you my holiday mini mystery today. And so I sewed the Fireside Cocoa and I was doing a table runner and placemats. And so because my life is crazy and because it's December, I only got half of the table runner done today. But I wanted to show it to you guys because, yes, I do have time to sew, but I have half time to sew. And so here is what half of the Fireside Cocoa table runner looks like. And so I'm hoping by our show next week, I will have the rest of it done as well as placemats. Paula is having me do time-lapse videos at home. And so you guys will get to see kind of me laying out laying everything out, stitching it all together in a time-lapse fashion. So we'll see all that come together. I'm hoping to have all those videos for next week for everybody. All right, so now we're going to talk about stitchets. All right, so for the stitchets, what this is I had this idea when I was playing with the kids with Legos. And I know that when it comes to Legos, you can go and you can buy the really expensive box and you have a pattern and everyone makes the same thing and it goes in an order. And I feel like that's what Legos has morphed into. Obviously, they're a business. That's a fantastic way to make money, right? And I feel like that's like a quilt pattern, right? So here's a quilt pattern and here's a kit and everyone makes the same thing. But what I remembered when I was a kid was those Lego boxes that just had a whole bunch of different colors and shapes. And you could literally just dump it on the ground and just make whatever you wanted and put it in whatever combination. And you could sit there with a friend and you could all pick from the same pile and you could share the shapes and you could just make whatever you wanted from this universal box of shapes. All right, I am seeing that Stephanie did not receive her card partner either. I'm going to send that over to Paula. So the idea is that you just dump all these shapes out and you can make whatever you want. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool if we could do something like that with fabric, right? Is there a way that we could come up with this Lego box where you could just dig in and pull out parts and pieces and play with them like a kid and see what comes out? Perhaps get together with a friend and see how they see things differently than you. And so that was really the catalyst for starting our Stitches. And so it started out with just a monthly release, and we picked 3 different collections and we put them in boxes. And so you choose your collection, you choose your size, and you just grab a design wall and you put up the fabric and just see where inspiration takes you. We had employees here where we would hand them the box and we would do videos. And it was just interesting to see how people took the shapes and interpreted them differently to come up with different designs. And me, I'm like, okay, we're just gonna put 2 triangles together. We got a half square triangle. But someone would come along and rotate it and then have a pinwheel, and then rotate it even further, and now you have a square within a square, and then rotate it even more, and now you have an arrow, and it's all pointed around in a direction, and flying geese. And so it's just one of those ideas that there's no pattern. There's no guidance. There's no right or wrong. And most importantly, there's no quilt police to tell you what the right answer is. And so all of those reasons are why we have the Stitch It program. And so we have 3 new collections that are dropping on the website on Sunday in our pick your collection, pick your size of Stitch It box. What size, how many Legos do you want to play with to make your next design? I also do like the idea that we're not all making quilts. You can take a Stitch It and you can make placemats. You could make coasters. You could make a sewing machine cover, right? There's a lot of different things that can be done with these. You can make different projects. I would be inspired, beyond blown away, to see if someone made like quilted apparel with this. I also do think the stitches could be used. I'm seeing on social media a lot of quilted sweatshirts, a lot of quilted hoodies. You could easily make a Stitch It into quilted apparel. And, I see them all, like they've got the quilt blocks and like the hoodie zipper that goes through it. There's a lot on the back. There's denim jackets that you can put quilt blocks on. I think Stitch Its are perfect for all of that because you lay it out. Everything's pre-cut, so you're focusing more on putting colors where you want them and less cutting fabric. And then by the time you're invested in cutting it, you feel like you have to use it. I feel like there's so much there with the Stitch It that just allows for I always call it unleashing creative horsepower, that you can just be creative. You don't have to think about the process. It's more just being creative, and it's very freeing. So to build on that, we created a Rosa's Holiday Your Way Stitch It Countdown box this year. And so the idea was, how can we continue to iterate on this idea? And so what we did is we created these awesome boxes here. And so, we were looking for fun packaging to use for this, and I was completely happy when we came up on this food container idea. But the idea is the countdown box, there's boxes 1 to 12. And so depending on how you count down, if you count up, if you count down, however you choose to count down, you would open your box. These little guys here in the bottom are actually solids and neutrals. So if you wanted white, navy, or black, those were included in the kit. And the idea is you would open this box each day, and inside of it, there is pre-cut fabric for you to play with. And so each box is color themed. And so the first box is pink. And so inside you have a big chunk of pink triangles and pink squares. And so you can just play with this and come up with whatever you want to do with it. Each box was a different color. So the first, I know what the first 2 are. I haven't made it past the first 2 in my projects. But box 1 is pink, box 2 is red. And I think it goes in rainbow color as you get bigger in numbers. And so we partnered with Sean, the guy who sews, and Sew Becca with these. And so Sean is on his channel, the guy who sews. He's actually using these and he's laying them out in lots of different blocks. And he's letting you guys vote which one he sews together. And so he's coming up with, infinite number of ideas. And which are you guys suggesting that he sews together? And then he sews it together and then he goes to the next one. Lays out a whole bunch of different designs. You guys decide, and then he sews it together. And at the end, he'll have a fantastic rainbow scrappy quilt made from this Stitch It box. Becca is actually, she's going to do a reveal. So she wants to make an entire quilt with hers. And so rather than doing it in kind of daily, weekly kind of installment, she's going to wait until the end and show you guys the full quilt she was able to make with her Stitch It box. Again, because Paula likes to give me homework, she gave me one of these boxes and she told me to go and make some time-lapse videos of what I would make with this Stitch It box. And so I was inspired by the blocks and the programs that we're doing here in the shop. And so I wanted to, so I am very structured and I have to have a plan. And so I like that these pieces can make 8-inch squares pretty easily. Each of these pieces is 2 inches on the edge, and so they can make 8-inch squares pretty easily. For those of you doing floral states are all 8-inch squares. Tim Holtz are all 8-inch squares. And so I actually dug into the Floral States pattern library. And what I did is I used the pink and the red, and I made a block using the Floral States blocks, and then I created a border. And so this is where I am today. We'll see how I do by the time I get to box 12. But what I wanted to do is show you guys what I am doing with that Stitch It. And so this is what I did with the pink one. And so obviously Sawtooth Star. So this is taken directly from the Tim Holtz program. And so I took all the pink triangles and I put them together. I paired them up. Now for me, it's scrappy because they're randomized here. Obviously these two come together, but it feels scrappy, but also structured and organized, which feels like something I would do. So this is what I did with that pink box. So I literally converted these guys here into this project. All right, so let me show you that again. And then, you know, I could obviously continue this, right? And just each time I open a box, do a Sawtooth Star, and at the end, I'll have a pretty rainbow Sawtooth Star. But I'm shaking it up. And so when I open the red, this is the block. This is the panel that I came up with. And so what I did is I grouped all of the prints together there and made larger half square triangles with them. And so this is what I decided to do for the red. It keeps the same kind of this is an 8-inch block here with a border between it. I don't know if I'll continue that trend, but I do like where this is going. And, you know, I used the white and the navy that's in there. I haven't had a chance to use any of the black, but if you want to see the process that I used, Paula's going to put up some time-lapse videos. Let's see here. Who's the boss? Who are we talking about? All right. All right. So yes, that's what happens when Paula comments while I'm talking. But so in my world, this Stitch It is going to become this. And so what I can do is if I'm looking for a quick project, I'll just grab one of those Chinese food containers. I'll open it up. I'll lay it out. It took no time to sew because these guys are really simple, very easy. It's either rows or squares that are then stitched together. And so we actually have some more of these. If you guys missed out, there is just a few more left in the shop if you want to get in on it. You don't necessarily have to count down, but it is nice to have those like color coordinated scrappy blocks that you can put together. Let's see here. So it's really just making sure that you like the stitches is just pre-cut. It's just creativity. I know people are like, hey, what's the pattern that I'm supposed to make with this? Hey, and it's more just freedom, right? You could literally get a pattern and get the Stitch Its and you could make them together. I know there have been folks in the past that have gotten a Stitch It and gotten a year of color challenge cards and been able to make a whole quilt using a year of color challenge cards with the Stitch It. So you have a pattern, but you can still choose wherever you want to place the fabrics. And one of the Stitch Its is enough to do that entire quilt. Whatever you guys want to do, if you want to even randomize it up, I wish in my ideal world, I could be the quilter that just sits there with this next to my sewing machine and just grabs two and sews it, grabs two and sews it, grabs two and sews it. That would actually be, I mean, you don't even really have to think about it at that point. Just grab two, sew, and then press them all together. And you would have a whole bunch of half square triangles and squares into a quilt in a rainbow fashion. That works too. Okay, let's see here. Oh, and then continuing the theme of the Stitch Its, we have also offered an option with our puzzle mystery quilt. So you can get a Stitch It accent kit is what we're calling it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pre-cut some of the most commonly used shapes in the mystery quilt. And what we're going to do is give you an accent kit. And so you can add flair. This is literally the word written here, people. You can add flair to your borders. And so if if you like the solid border all the way around your quilt, that's absolutely fine. Ian is a big fan of integrating some designs into that border. So we're going to give you pre-cut pieces to be able to do that. Or what I have done in the past is if there's a block that I like on the front, is I stitch it onto the back. And so that way it brings a little of the front onto the back, makes it just a little bit more visually interesting, but also more challenging once you put that on the back. But I've done that. There was a this way, that way design, and I took 2 of the blocks from the front and brought them onto the back for my niece. All right. So definitely take a look at that if that's your thing. Alrighty, gang. That's everything on today's topic. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Stitch Its, we love. If you have an idea for a future Stitch It, right? Tim Holtz is ultimately a Stitch It with a pattern. If you have another idea for Stitch It, our team is all ears. We always love hearing great ideas of new things that we can do with our die cutters, and with this new piece of equipment, we're going to be die cutting machines, literally. And so it is something fun. It is something easy for us to do, and we would love to keep inspiring you guys. So since you've hung out to the end with me, Tisha was saying no planes. I've heard planes, Paula. Paula is saying no. I think Paula heard big trucks. And so, yes, no planes today, Tisha. I am so sorry about that. They were flying all morning. It's probably because, so here's the real story. So they knew we were live, and they knew Paula was going to yell at them if they flew over. So there's like a restricted airspace over the shop today. Thank you, Paula. She's really good at her job. Okay, so for hanging out to the end, we are asking folks, wherever you find this video, YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, answer this question, and we will give one lucky person a $25 gift card to our shop. So the question we're asking today is, what is your favorite handmade holiday gift that you have ever given? So for those of us that are, kind of delinquent in hand making our gifts, what is your favorite handmade holiday gift that you have ever given? Post it in the comments and we'll pick one lucky person. So I think for me, I'm going to answer this question. There was one holiday, it was many, many years ago, where we didn't have a lot of money to spend on everybody. And I was learning to crochet, and I aspirationally crocheted everyone a handmade gift. I went to Michael's when all the yarn was on sale, and I crocheted everyone a gift. And I think I burned out on my crochet skills because I could not get back to it for about another year. But I think that I gave everyone a handmade gift. They kept them, they loved them, and I love giving handmade holiday gifts for everybody. So I would love to hear, what is your favorite handmade holiday gift that you have ever given and why? All right, we will come back to that. Sorry. So, okay. And I think that's it. So don't forget, the holiday your way Stitch Its are still on the website. Flyway signups are now open. If there's a colorway you like, go and get it. We were lucky. The first 4 colorways to sell out, we could get more of the 3. Guys, once we start getting to numbers 5, 6, and 7, it is going to be harder for us to get more fabric. That I do know for sure. All right. And I think that is it for me today, guys. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. I hope you're either going to be sewing or cooking or baking, or perhaps doing none of the above and just hanging out. That would be absolutely fantastic. So with that, everyone have a fantastic week, and we will see you soon. Bye now, everybody. And cut. Thank you so much for watching our video. We have so much fun making these, and we hope that you were both delighted and inspired by what you just watched. This video was sponsored by Cotton Cuts. Cotton Cuts is your one stop for all the best fabric and thread memberships. Love fabric? We've got you covered. Love thread? We've got you covered. We get that no 2 quilters are cut from the same cloth, which is why our memberships are as unique as you. We also have the largest block of the month in the world. Over 4,000 detectives solve our puzzle mystery quilts every year, and you can join them. Simply go to cottoncuts.com to learn more about all the awesome and fun things that we're doing. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe to make sure you get all of our new fresh content every time it comes out. Thank you so much. Happy sewing enthusiasts, and we will see you soon. Bye now.